Hello and welcome back. What I wanted to do today is to bring you up to speed as we now start to proceed to bring our students back and restart our clinics. For the record, what we are planning on right now, with the strong help of Dr. Rowan and the entire clinical support team at the college, is our students will be returning starting with the simulation activities June 1st, with the plan that our clinical students will come back to get prepared to start to see patients on June 8th. First of all, I think it's really important to emphasize that we are going to be strongly practicing the physical distancing concepts that everyone has been talking about. You will see a lot of changes that's occurred in the building to emphasize the physical distancing issues. Now, Dr. Rowan has been working really hard in terms of working with what we call administrative controls and engineering controls, along with the PPE equipment that everyone has heard about over the last 8 weeks. The physical distancing is a key part of that. You will notice that everyone will be masked at all times in the building, and in fact on campus the policy now is everyone is to be masked on campus or in any of the buildings. We are strongly encouraging no face-to-face in-person meetings unless absolutely necessary, and if necessary that it be limited to less than 5 people or appropriately spaced. We have significantly enhanced the house cleaning procedures around the building. We have a new custodial staff, which I talked about last time. They are doing a very good job, and especially deep cleaning on the commonly touched surface areas, such as elevator buttons and stairwells. You will notice some of the other administrative changes that we're putting into place is we are looking at and planning now to have one entrance for faculty, staff, and students to the building, which will be the south entrance near the orthodontic door. Temperature will be taken and recorded, and then you will be allowed to enter the building if appropriate. The patient entrance will be a single patient entrance, the new Paulina Street entrance that should be open here shortly. And this particular entrance, again, the temperature will be taken as a screening and the patient seated until escorted to the respective clinic. Then the other thing is the Marshfield side door. We are planning it will not be open from the outside. The swipe access will be removed. It will only be used for exit. The primary reason is we don't want to create a clustering of people right at the northeast elevators. Now, the other thing that we're doing is, again, mandating things like face masks that be used, as we talked about. We're going to have, and we do have, copious alcohol-based hand sanitizers spread throughout the clinics. And we are going to request and require each patient to actually use the hand sanitizer as they enter the clinic and when they exit the clinic at the end of an exam or procedure. We are also mandating that elevators have no more than 4 people. You will see the little squares on the floor of the elevator to go to your respective corner. And so that in that way we again try to assure as best as possible physical distancing in the elevators. We have also making of the stairwells one direction. So the west stairwells in the building will be the down stairways, and the east side stairwells will be where you walk up. So east is up and west is down. Now, all clinics, we're also standardizing the clinical encounter protocol at the front desks, and that's important that we are all doing things in a singular fashion. The clinical administrative controls, again, will continue. The pre-screening that we've been doing for some time will continue 24 hours ahead to check on the patient as well as on the day of care. All patient temperatures will be taken, as I said, at the point of care and registered in Axiom. Patients also will be using the hand sanitizers, and we're really trying to encourage very few accompanying people. And if someone does come with a patient, they stay in their car outside if that's how they came, or we will limit it to 1 person accompanying a patient. We are also looking at spreading out the chairs in the reception area for physical distancing, and we remove those cloth chairs that are not as easy to clean, and those have been put in storage for the time being. We have created teams with the students with the idea that the students all stay together in a respective team with what is going to be hopefully a faculty member that just stays with that team. Again, with this idea, this is commonly used in high-risk environments where if someone becomes unfortunately ill, that particular team is the only team that is then quarantined. We are continuing to do all mandatory reviews with the CDC standard precautions, and you will see there's training modules the students have completed, but this will be mandatory for the faculty and the staff in regarding to the donning and the doffing of the PPE, which has a very specific pattern on how it's going to be done. If you have any questions, Dr. Rowan and her team in the Office of Clinical Affairs can help to answer it, as well as we have the 19 FAQs that are on our intranet for your review. Engineering controls, we continue to work with the College of Engineering and the facilities engineers, looking at, in this particular case, issues around improving the HVAC systems. As you will notice, we've done some other engineering issues we're exploring, such as the concept of using sterilizers or filters within the current HVAC system, as well as changing airflows and creating better exhaust from clinic areas. These are pretty straightforward, but some of them come very expensive, and so we have to look at our options very carefully and make sure we have the best knowledge as we make the decisions going forward. We are asking all people in the offices or at the desks that to remove miscellaneous clutter. And we are asking then that we use all of the standard OSHA disinfection procedures throughout all the clinical areas. And you will see many signage and many different ways of informing everyone on how this is occurring. We have teamed the students together, so it's 2 students to 1 patient in the comprehensive care clinics. This is referred to as a peer-assisted learning, or PAL, and this allows for increased efficiency, faster turnover, better patient care, management and mitigation of aerosols, and the ability for faculty to have fewer faculty with the students so that we can have intensive education with each team of students which are learning from each other. This is also important because this allows us to do PPE monitoring to make sure that the best practices are being done at all times. This includes things such as the rubber dam, things such as IsoDry, and other technologies that can be helped to mitigate the aerosols. Now, in terms of PPE equipment, we all faculty, providers, and the students and the staff, the clinical staff, we're all going to be wearing the standard full PPE equipment, and this includes gowns, gloves, of course, face masks or goggles, and the N95 respirator or the KN95 respirator, and we are looking right now at our fitting protocol, which will be a part of this. If feasible, I am asking that street clothes be worn to school and to change into scrubs only when you're at the school, and at the end of the clinical day to change out of the scrubs, put them in a bag, take them home to be laundered, and then change back into your street clothes. Part of this is perception, but part of it is also important because it is that those scrubs that may be contaminated and you don't want to carry those out, and especially you don't want to carry it home on you. So it's important to try to minimize this. We are looking also at standardizing the PPE equipment for our clerks and our front desk staff that are patient-facing, as well as PPE equipment for our staff that are not necessarily directly involved in patient care or encountering patients, but yet we have to fulfill all the campus mandates for protecting our staff, because it is safety at the end of the day. Safety for our staff, our students, our faculty, and our patients together. As we've said before, we will get through this. And it is also important that I personally have patients that need to come in, they want to see me, and I want to do it in as safe a manner as possible, and we will do this. I have to thank Dr. Rowan and her incredible team, the managing partners that have done an incredible job, and Dr. Chang and the pre-patient simulation group, all for being innovative, knowledgeable, and great with ideas to help us reboot this very important operation, which is the College of Dentistry. Again, thank you, and more to come.